What's going on? It's your boy, Connor Conflict, back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be on the same topic as the previous, and it's going to be investing in sports cards, and it's going to be more tips and helping beginners as well as more advanced stuff towards the end of the video. So I'm going to start off with going over what I went over in the previous video, which is trying to find the card and then understanding the price of it and then buying it. And something that people were like questioning me on was, can I buy this card instead? Like, you're only showing Prism. Yes, you can, but if you only have a basic understanding of it, then I recommend sticking to Prism because that's the main card that everyone likes to invest in rather than, like, you can invest in RBAs, you can invest in inserts and short print stuff, but it makes it more complicated if you don't understand the basics of it. So I recommend sticking to Prism unless you already have an advanced knowledge. Otherwise, stick to Prism and then slowly, surely understand the other cards. But another thing I don't think people understand is this is mainly geared towards people with good understanding of sports. Like, if you're not really a diehard sports fan and you don't understand like who's gonna pop off and who's gonna do well, I don't know if this is necessarily for you unless you want to do the safe investments such as like LeBron or like Tom Brady, people who aren't gonna lose value. But like for me, it's more about trying to predict who you think's gonna do good based off of like maybe gut feelings, but like understanding their situations, the new offense they might be in, the player that they are. That's what I do. But if you want to go more safe, then that's like LeBron's and the higher end guys. But for me, it's just predicting who's going to do well in the future and using my sports knowledge because I do heavy research and I love sports, so I know a lot. That's how I do my investing rather than just trying to copy what someone else is doing. So like, I'm going to tell people who I'm going to invest in, but it doesn't mean you should, because what I do is what I do and it's based off what I know. But if you know something different or you don't want to trust me, that's fine. But like, I recommend using your sports knowledge. Like what I put in the description of the previous video was monetizing your sports knowledge. So if you think someone's going to do good, you should invest in them. If you don't think someone's going to do good, don't invest in them. You're going to take L's, you're going to take dubs. You just have to hope that you know enough to hopefully profit, which I personally think I do. I think I'll take more wins than losses overall, but you have to take losses to learn from them, obviously. So that's just what I want to get out of the way originally, is you need to have sports knowledge unless you're going to invest in the higher end guys such as LeBron, people who are already solidified as very good players. So in the previous video, I went over Prism. So like I said, there's Select, there's Optic, there's all these different kind of cards, but there's so many cards that if you try and overcomplicate it, especially at a basic understanding, you're just going to confuse yourself. So that's why I recommend sticking to Prism only. Go to their rookie year and their Prism, and then you want to go with their graded card because their ungraded card may have value. The only ones that have value really are the ones who've already like proven themselves. So Mahomes and like Lamar Jackson, who just won back-to-back MVPs, their value on their like ungraded stuff is very good. But like guys like I invested in these Josh Allens. His ungraded card really isn't worth a lot, and the only way their ungraded cards will shoot up like their graded cards is if they have like stellar performances like Lamar and Mahomes did. But like I said with him, who he definitely increased his value over this season because he performed better than his rookie year. So these ungraded cards I bought for 35, they're worth like 55. I even bought like an insert, but like I said, you don't do that unless you have a deeper understanding. So Prism is like the base card that people invest in. People will invest in other cards if they understand it, but if you don't, stick to Prism because it's just easier to comprehend. There's more supply out there, so it's easier to grasp the market of the card rather than like a short print or other cards. Like for example, if you were to look up PSA 10 Kyler Murray, which I've looked up before, his price is ranging all over the place because the card came out recently, so when you get him graded, there's not a lot of supply. So his sold is all over the place. So 127 best offer, which there's websites which you can look it up. No, it's not graded. 100, 125, $40. That's what I mean. Like, it ranges all over the place. So you want to make sure you wait until there's a good supply of it, which is for Kyler. If you give it a couple more months, people get their PSA shipments back in. His supply will definitely grow because that's a card a lot of people are trying to get graded. But yeah, like the other cards, there's just less grades of them, so it's harder to get a full grasp on the market. Obviously, investments are based simply off performance. If a player is going to perform well, their value is going to go up. Otherwise, it's not going to go up. So if they play bad, it's going to go down. If it goes up, it's because they played well. Such as like Baker Mayfield, his value went down because he had a phenomenal rookie year. A bunch of people invested in him, and then he had a bad season, and he plummeted. So you wanna know that this is simply based off of performance. And that's why you want to use your sports knowledge. Like, if you don't understand sports and you don't follow sports, like I said, I don't know if this is necessarily for you unless you want to get into learning sports. But like for me, I'm super deep into football. That's why I like to invest in football, and I don't really go outside of it unless I have people telling me to do otherwise. Which Gary V name drops a lot of people that you should invest in. He said Trae Young a while ago. I think he said Luka. He said Giannis. So like, if he says something, then you might want to do it because he obviously knows his stuff. But for me, I'm very good on football. He said Sam Darnold. I think he's doo-doo. I'm a little biased, but I don't like what I've seen from him, so I don't think that's a card I would invest in. But that's what I mean. You want to monetize your sports knowledge. Don't try and go outside of what you know. And like I said, so the main thing about monetizing your sports knowledge, this is you're picking the player you want to invest in. I'm not necessarily going to tell you because, like I said, my opinion is my opinion, and I don't want to be the reason you lose money. Obviously, I'm going to start naming some people that I think you should invest in because there's some people I think are pretty surefire. But I'm going to teach you how to do it for the player that you want to invest in. So it's up to you to pick who you want to invest in. And I think some of the variables that you should put into it is like, well, first of all, if you think the player's good. Because if you don't think they're good, they're obviously not going to do good. Alright, what's going on, guys? It's me in the future now. So I'm rewatching the video to see what else I can give you because I was kind of rambling all over the place. So I mentioned different variables that go into investing in sports cards. And a big thing, in my opinion, is strength of schedule. So I'm going to go over, like I said, I'm very good in football. So I'm going to go over like quarterbacks that you should maybe invest in based off their strength of schedule. So we'll look right here. NFL 2020 strength of schedule. These came out recently. I think it's based off previous records, and it's a huge percentage. And so you can look at this, and then you can kind of base it off who you want to invest in. But the biggest point I was making in the video is the method I'm showing you is you plugging in the player into the framework that I'm setting, and then like purchasing it for the right cost. So the Ravens have the easiest strength of schedule. So honestly, maybe you think Lamar just was MVP. He's got the easiest strength of schedule. Why not double down? You could invest in Lamar based off of this number. Cowboys, maybe you want to, Cowboys and Steelers. So maybe that's like Dak Prescott if he returns, Zeke. Steelers, I don't know if there's necessarily an invest you want to make right here. Browns, Baker Mayfield, Dwayne Haskins. Giants, Daniel Jones, if you believe in him. Personally, I don't. Wentz. So that's what I mean. You can use strength of schedule. You can use, maybe they got a new offensive coordinator that fits them better. Like, that's just different type of variables that you want to apply to this. And like I said, I'm showing you how to do it. So all right, we're going to go over it. So it's up to you to pick the player. So I'm telling you, rookie year, base prism, because that's the base card that everyone uses to invest, because it's just the most simple to comprehend. So I'm telling you to do base prism, unless you want to do silver, which is a little more higher end. And then you insert the player's name and then PSA 10. So say you want to do Lamar Jackson. So I'm telling you, base year, prism, Lamar Jackson. But say, hey, you want to invest in, you believe in Daniel Jones. You think Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. I don't. So you go 2019, prism, Daniel Jones, sorry. PSA 10. I don't know if he has a very good supply right now because he's a kind of a newer card. So I'm telling you, plug in 2019 Prism. You plug in the name. So this is all on you. This is your decision. That's why the whole premise is monetizing your sports knowledge. Your sports knowledge, I'm telling you, the framework of it is to type in Daniel Jones. That's your decision to make. Daniel Jones. You could put any quarterback that you want. Like I said, I recommend sticking with quarterback investments because the other values are a little tricky, and especially like after their careers, a lot of them like lose traction, whereas quarterbacks kind of maybe retain their value a little better. Yeah, so you search it up, and then like I said, the key thing is you want to buy it. You don't want to overpay for the card. That is big. So I'm teaching you how to not overpay for the card. I'm teaching you how to find the card and not how to overpay for it. So go to sold items right here. ended recently. You can tell his value. Well, these you can look up these. Like I said, there's a website to look up best offers. But like, see, these are a bunch of different cards that are graded. And yes, you can invest in these, but it's harder to understand the correct price you should buy it at because people are probably overpaying for these cards. And yes, they will gain value if he performs well, but you might be overpaying initially, and it's more of a risk that you're taking. So let's see, 130, 70, yeah. So he's still like his this card's still kind of new. So I showed Kyler earlier. This is a little more tricky because the supply is a little off. So we'll go off Carson Wentz right here. So say you believe in Carson Wentz, you want to invest in him. The price on Carson Wentz will show you right here. Boom. So his price is going to be a little more stable because there's more supply of it. So you can see right here is 102, 127. So it's the more like 125 range. Actually, no, his price is probably a little wobbly as well. But based off this, you want to get it for around like $100. It looks like, at least. Yeah, his price is around $100. So you don't want to overpay for it because, like I said in the last video, you're just limiting the amount to make. So if you understand sports, you literally just plug in their year. You plug in the players, like all the information that I'm telling you right now, and then you just have to make sure to not overpay for the card. You buy them cards, and then deciding when to sell can be tricky. It's honestly, do you think they're going to perform better? Do you think that they can get any better? Or if you think they're going to start falling off? It's hard to predict to be someone like LeBron. So say Luka Doncic just popped off, but is he going to be that big of a name consistently for the rest of the year? Do you think that he's peaked his value? It's all up to you. That's what I mean. It's all about your sports knowledge. That's why I don't rely on outside sources unless I trust them. But it comes down to yourself and you making the decisions based off of what you know. So that's just the main point I wanted to make. Another topic I wanted to touch on was pack opening. I was getting a lot of people asking me about that. And the thing I have to say about that is, like, it's more gambling and luck based rather than making an investment using knowledge. It's all luck based. You can make money off of it, but it's risky, and I recommend sticking to investing if you want to, like I said, monetize your sports knowledge. It's what you know, not getting lucky. But I will have a separate video breaking down the different types of packs and cards that you can open, and because opening packs is very fun. I've pulled very good cards. I've pulled nothing. You know, it ranges. So that's just the warning I wanted to give you, is that it's more luck and gambling based rather than knowledge. I hope you found value in this video. Like I said, it's more designed towards people with sports knowledge. If not, you want to go more safe, which I understand. Like I said, just stick to Prism. Use your knowledge. Don't overcomplicate it. You can expand outside of Prism. Like I said, though, it's just making it more confusing on yourself. I hope this video brought you some value. If it did, let me know down below. If you have any extra questions, please let me know. I literally answered every comment in the previous video. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.